This episode is brought to you by Novilla Mattresses. When it comes to your mother, you want her sleeping in a comfortable bed. When she's with me, she won't have to worry about that because I sleep on a Novilla mattress. Let me tell you, when your mom is at my place, she is sleeping on a very comfortable mattress and she is going to get you one as well. Meet their Bliss Organic Memory Foam Mattress. Perfect for those who want a cool, dry, undisturbed sleep throughout the night, made with organic bamboo charcoal fiber, excellent motion isolation, cooling gel-infused memory foam that fits all bed frames and is reasonably priced. Perfect for if you want an inexpensive mattress for you, your children, or even for your guest room. It comes in a box delivered right to your door, and you get 100 nights to try it out. Skip that trip to the big box mattress store and get a mattress from Novilla. Throw out that cheap Walmart mattress you got in college and get yourself a mattress made by Novilla. Using promo code Schweezy or the link in our description, you can save 10% on any purchase through Novilla directly. Try out the mattress that your mom tried out last night. Again, that's 10% off using promo code Schweezy. And a reminder, when you use our links, you directly support this show. Hello, and what is going on, my fellow Schwoke Lords? What is up? Welcome to yet another best episode ever of Cancel Schweezy. Cancel Schweezy, or better known right now as Christmas Schweezy, the last Christmas Schweezy of this year. Unfortunately, yep, the Christmas season is almost over. It's almost Christmas. Fuck. This episode comes out the next Sunday. It's going to be Christmas, and then we recorded our New Year's special, which is going to be exciting. 2022. Shit's over. That shit is over. And I just realized that I cannot control nothing. I just realized I can't control my headphone volume from my computer. Long story short, okay. But anyways, so let me just reach over real quick and hit everything on my desk. Okay, that's better. Welcome. Like I said, we're Christmas Schweezy, the Lord's trademark favorite podcast. So what's going on, folks? We got a great episode today. Folks, great episode today. I'm ready for the fucking Christmas season. A good Christmas here. I got a white elephant gift, which is going to be fucking great. That's fucking great. I got gifts for my family. That's fucking great. The gift that keeps on giving me is this podcast, which is congratulations, you get another podcast to listen to. It's another. I'm the gift this year to you. I'm the gift that always gives, the gift that gives and never forgets. Welcome, like I said, once again, welcome to Cancel Schweezy, the only podcast that's gonna deck the halls with these balls in your jaws. Got it. What's going on, folks? Anyways, though, we got a lot of cool stuff going on this episode. So much to do, so much to see. So what's wrong with taking the back seat in Santa's sleigh? There's nothing wrong with the back seat. I'm assuming it says 2 rows of seats. You know, he's not driving a fucking sports car. Practical vehicles usually have a back seat unless they're a truck. But Santa's not fucking driving a truck. That gas mileage is not going to do good. You know, that reindeer mileage is not. Instead of horsepower, it's reindeer power. You're like, how much reindeer power is it? Reindeer power? What the fuck are you talking about, Santa? You're talking about fucking reindeer power here today? Yeah, no, I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. Christmas only comes once a year. I love songs that are like, Christmas only comes once a year. Because there's like, it only comes once a year. No shit. I don't know how you're like that. I don't know the fucking logic you have behind that. You're like, Christmas comes once a year. Why is it Christmas? Easter comes once a year. Like, you could do that fucking too, but no one gives a shit, you know? Anyways, though, Last Christmas by Schweezy, which is me, aka the Foreplay King, but you'll see it under Schweezy. Out now, it's part of Never Nude Records. Grandma Got Run Over by a Tour Van compilation record. I'm on it. And a lot of other cool artists are on that too. So definitely go check that out. You can stream it on my Spotify, Apple Music, Tidal, Deezer, any of those pages over on wherever you stream your music at, you're going to be able to find that. And it's going to be just easy fucking listening. I know this is probably the last good podcast I'm going to be able to promote that shit. So why are you not streaming that nonstop? I know some of you don't like Christmas music. I finally made a Christmas song you like. And it's weird how this song is getting really popular this year on TikTok. Somehow my version is just not. Which
That's rough, buddy.
It's pretty fucking rough. So, anyways, go check that out. Go stream Christmas music that you'll actually like. Another band I'm playing was Stonehouse. We just released a new single, American Honey, out now. I play bass on it. I also was the one to record and produce it. So, therefore, what's going on? What's going on with you? What's going on with me? What's going on with you? Why are you not streaming that shit? It actually sounds really good. It's probably one of my better mixes I've ever done. So you definitely better be going checking out that shit. But definitely don't be stingy.
Come on, Mark. Don't be stingy.
When it comes to anything like that. So make sure you go check that out. If you also want to know whenever I'm releasing music or with other bands or things I've recorded or even, podcasts and anything else in between, make sure you go check me out on social media. It's at TheSchweezy. That's wherever you get social media, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. I definitely like to post on TikTok, post show clips. I need to actually start posting other stuff too. So definitely a message for me.
Come on, Mark. Don't be stingy.
You can just call me Mark because I'm being stingy. So definitely go check that out. That's music and socials all under at TheSchweezy. So definitely go check that out. Over on Twitch, twitch.tv/TheSchweezy, another great place you can go follow us. Every Thursday, I stream video games, which is very exciting. I just finished Pokemon. So I'm deciding, do I continue to play Pokemon or do I journey off and find another adventure to continue? I don't know. I might still be doing that. I have a lot of stuff I want to do and play in the game. However, I'm not sure if it's going to make good streaming content. So some interesting stuff there. So go over there. If you have an Amazon Prime account, you can connect it to your Twitch account. You get a Twitch Prime. Now, what is Twitch Prime? Basically, Twitch Prime allows you to subscribe to someone once a month. Typically, that's around $5 you spend. Following anyone on Twitch, free. Everyone can do that. I'm expecting you. You are required to do that. But however you want to subscribe, typically you would spend $5 to support a creator. Now, with what we're talking about here over on the Twitch Prime, though, which your Amazon Prime account, you're already paying for that every month. Use that. Go over to the twitch.tv/TheSchweezy. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. Basically, it's a free way to financially support someone without spending any extra money than you're already spending every month. And it takes money away from Jeff Bezos, which I'm very passionate about. That guy's too rich. He's leaning into the whole I'm Lex Luthor supervillain thing, which I don't like. I don't like it all. That it's a meme. And that meme needs to stop. You can also financially support us over on Patreon page, tip jar right now. It's a great way to say thank you for being a friend and really help us go full throttle.
Let's go full throttle.
Over on everything we do. But remember all the free shit you can do as well. If you are listening to us on an audio-only platform, I know like Apple Podcast, Overcast, Spotify, Stitcher, or whatever, make sure you check us out on YouTube. Make sure you're at least subscribed on YouTube. And, just saying though, we're trying to build up our audience over on YouTube. If you're one of those people who just pulls it up on your TV or on your phone or whatever, why not, pull us up on YouTube, like that. Make sure, why don't you check us out over there? I know some of you drive and can't really do that, so I'm not talking to you, but also go check that out over on the YouTube page. We post our highlights of the show from every week, and that way, if you don't want to watch full episodes, you can always just check those out. Just listen to the parts you like. You can also share with your friends instead of like telling them to go to a timestamp on an audio, on the audio podcast or whatever. Just nice and convenient. And if you're on the audio side as well, make sure you're wherever you're checking out the podcast, leave a review and give us a 5, 4, 3, 2 or 1-star rating. So, because guess what?
I like that.
But more importantly...
And I really like that.
So, don't, just end it.
Come on, Mark. Don't be stingy.
Anyways, let's get into previous week right now. What is previous week right now? You may be asking. It's just the fucking news from last week, folks. I'm not going to go on a big old fucking rant. It's not my job. It's not who I am. This is not who I am.
This is the type of guy you get.
You know what I'm saying? Anyways, it's just the news from last week that we're going to go over right now. Maybe I'm just not in the mood to explain it today. Not a good sign if you're going to be talking for an hour and a half, but therefore, though, nevertheless, though, he persisted. So let's look into everything right now. As Philip DeFranco would say,
let's just jump into it.
The next Pokemon anime will end Ash Ketchum's story, introduce new characters after 25 years. It's from Entertainment Weekly. Pokemon anime has been airing TV since 1997 and has always focused on one character in particular, Ash Ketchum, who dreams of catching them all and becoming the ultimate Pokemon master, eternally accompanied by his beloved champion Pikachu, but that's about to change. After 25 years, Ash's story is finally coming to an end. In a recent episode, Ash finally won enough battles to achieve his longtime dream of becoming Pokemon World Champion. Now it's time to say goodbye. A new Pokemon trailer released Friday revealed that Pokemon Ultimate Journeys, the series concludes with 11 episodes in early 2023 that will eventually bid farewell to Ash and Pikachu, having finally achieved his goals. Ash's final installment will check in with old friends like Misty as viewers get a glimpse of what the future holds for Ash and Pikachu. Then the next, as yet untitled Pokemon series will launch, introducing two brand new protagonists, Liko and Roy. Viewers can see what they look like in the final moments of the new trailer. They are accompanied by Sprigatito, Fuecoco, and Quaxly, the starter Pokemon from the video game Pokemon Scarlet and Pokemon Violet, set in the new region of Paldea. We can only hope that Fido, the new donut Pokemon, will also make an appearance. Across the world, a brand new dream and adventure is about to begin, the trailer reveals. Pokemon Ultimate Journeys, the series, is streaming now on Netflix. Pokemon Scarlet and Violet are now available for purchase for anyone who wants to learn the ins and outs of the Paldea region before the new animated series explores it further. Wow, it's the end of an era, I think I remember, if we're going to go back here, I remember when Pokemon first aired. I watched it. It was Kids WB. And basically, Kids WB, they would do like a Saturday block of cartoons. Like, I think this was the era of Fox Kids and Kids WB. And like Kids WB would also have like an afternoon block, but those were a lot more basically just like reruns and stuff like that. They had like Scooby-Doo. They played episodes of Yu-Gi-Oh! And stuff like that. And for a kid with cable, it's like so funny because you hear kids like, I didn't grow up with cable, so I watched a lot of PBS Kids. I'm like, well, we had PBS Kids too. That was more like during the daytime because there were no cartoons on during the day, so it was just educational stuff during the day. My family had basic cable, but I lived in like a small middle of nowhere town in Kansas, and they had a small community college there, so they were able to get like a deal with like a cable provider. So we had very basic cable. I think like we only had like 60 channels, which I'm not like looking back. I'm like, oh, we were troubled. But we didn't get Cartoon Network for the longest time. Like I was still a kid when we got it, but like it was a minute before we got Cartoon Network. For real though, it was like it took us a minute to get Cartoon Network. So it was always like a treat. Like you go over to a friend's and they had like Dish Network or Direct TV, and like they had satellite, and like you learn like, so when I was a kid I was just like, oh, satellite's so much cool because they got so many more channels, which was true, and they could pay more and get more channels, stuff like that. I'm pretty sure my parents could have done the same thing. They just didn't want to. But then you realize like, oh, satellite TV kind of sucks because if there's a storm, you can't watch TV. And my family were just watching TV while there's a big ass storm out, like real kids. But yeah, no, it was like Kids WB, and so they would show it in the morning before I went to school. Then they'd also have like a Saturday morning block, and that's where like you watch those new episodes of Yu-Gi-Oh! And like if you rewatch just the Yu-Gi-Oh! Series, like they ended, like I don't think I even watched past like I think it was season 2 and 3 are almost like the same story arc, it was always really weird. And so they would do that, and I would try to watch all that, like the arc, and that's really lost. And it wasn't until I was adult I realized, I'm like, oh, they actually finished the show off, and I watched that, and I'm like, it's as cheesy as I remember it. But no, that's how I originally watched Pokemon, and I'm pretty sure I watched up to like at least watched it until the Gen 3 anime. So I was like, I watched like a ton of that shit, and I've rewatched a little bit of it too. So I'm like, I have no interest in rewatching the Indigo League unless it's like with small children. But like that's like, I was there, folks. I was there when Ash started, and now Ash has ended. He's still a child, and he's still a nice person, full of youth, and I also love animals too, but I'm a grown man. And stuff like that. So, congratulations, Ash. Ash is gonna be in the new series too. I know he's gonna be in the new series. He's just gonna not be the protagonist. Which, like, and then if you think about it story wise, though, that should have been the case after Gen 4. Sinnoh. It should have been the case in Gen 4. Because you're just like, Gen 5 was like a soft reboot, but not really. Like the past events still mattered, but like the Pokemon seemed like they're like Ash's Pikachu, like took down a legendary in like the past season. Then in like the Unova arc, like he got his ass whipped by like a level 5 starter. So pretty cool. There's like this just says like silence call on my phone. So yeah, pour one out for Ash. He did it, boys. He did it. He's the GOAT. Ash Ketchum is the GOAT. And like, if you watch any of the Journey series, you would know. Like, yeah, he's he pretty much he was like a good trainer. And then like we got to the beginning of it, Ash is like sending out fucking a Pikachu against Brock's Onix, and you're like, what the fuck is wrong with you? But he was also a beginner. And now he's like, now he is the GOAT. Ash Ketchum is the GOAT, and I'll respect that. Yeah, that's a lot to be respected. Okay. All this from TV Insider. I'm very excited about this. Milf Manor TLC and Discovery Plus drop trailer for new dating show straight out of 30 Rock.
What?
Remember MILF Island on 30 Rock? Chances are, if you watched the NBC comedy, it popped into your head upon hearing about the new TLC dating series. MILF Manor brings 8 confident and strong-minded women ages 40 to 60 from cities all across the country to a paradise destination for the chance to find love. The series premieres on Sunday, January 15th, 2023 at 10/9 Central on TLC and will be available to stream the same day on Discovery Plus. This group of women brings their unique life experiences to the game. They have decades of dating experience and will use it to find a lasting connection with men half their age. However, nothing can prepare them for a jaw-dropping surprise that will greet them at the front door, as teased in the trailer. Milf Manor is set as an exquisite location along the beautiful beaches of Mexico. Tensions run high when 8 women and 8 young hunks come together to find love. The women include a competitive 47-year-old fitness studio owner from Mexico currently living in Miami, a spontaneous 50-year-old disco mommy from Orange County, a 44-year-old Jersey girl currently living in Los Angeles, a 59-year-old fitness instructor and singer from Los Angeles, and a 50-year-old event planner who used to be the B-girl back in the day, just to name a few. There will be challenges that will provide if a connection is genuine or if it's time to leave the manor in each episode. Would the men win over the MILFs with their charming good looks, or will their behavior prove them to be underexperienced and land them on the chopping block? Expect chemistry, jealousy, and top-notch drama. Milf Manor is produced by Entertainment One, E1, and spun gold for TLC and Discovery Plus. So, first of all, interested. I'm 100% interested in everything this show has to offer. Second of all, the second question I have, how the fuck do I get on this show? I want to know how to get on Milf Manor, because this is exactly what I want to do. One, it's great. It's great for promoting this show and promoting my new music. There is a good chance, though, if the podcast goes quiet for a minute, there is a good chance that I will be on Milf Manor. I'm going to do everything I possibly can to get on this show, because this is 100% what I want in my life to do, to be on Milf Manor. Now I say that, I can't talk about anything else because I don't want to talk shit on this show, but like I'm 100% watching this shit. And well, there's like nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong with MILFs. I'm like, what? And I was like, was it 47, 50, 44? 44 seems weird because it's too close to my age. 59, 50. This show looks fucking rad, dude. But I guess it's like 30 Rock did it, so there was a good question there. Did they steal it from MILF Island? Did they steal it from 30 Rock? Or was 30 Rock making a joke? But then they're like, there's an idea at this. So, I am excited to see how this show is going to differentiate themselves from the 30 Rock joke. But they're like, Milf Manor, like, some guys just like, new MILFs are awesome. Just saying right there, MILFs are awesome. Slutty MILFs are awesome. And, someone's like, oh, I'm older, but I don't have a child. You can still be a MILF. Being a MILF is just you're hot and you just aged. That's all being a MILF is, ladies. A cougar, and you're like, but that's a cougar. We're like, no, a cougar is a hot woman who hunts for young prey. That's what a cougar is. Just to make sure we all know the difference between a MILF and a cougar. Those are the two differences that you'll know. But anyways, though, TLC, please give me a call. My DMs are open. I know Entertainment One, Spun Gold, I know who you are. Just say you're with, if I see an account, I just need you to know you're with Milf Manor. You can email theshwegcast@gmail.com. Outdated email, I know. But all of you can email me or DM me. That's going to be easier to find. DM me. My DMs are open. And you definitely should hit me up there because I'm funny, too. And I will make the show. I will fucking make that show the greatest fucking shit that you will ever see. You know what?
And I really like that.
So, as much as I want to say it.
Come on, Mark. Don't be stingy.
Oh, TLC, don't be stingy. Don't be stingy, TLC. All right, here we go. Goblin Mode, chosen as Oxford Word of the Year for 2022. This is from CNN. As you read this, look around. Are you still in bed? Are there piles of clothes and takeout food boxes strewn across the floor? Do you have chip crumbs on your sheets? Have you broken your self-care routine more times than you can count? Do you even care? If so, you might already be in Goblin Mode, chosen by the public as the 2022 Oxford Word of the Year. According to Oxford University Press, OUP, publishers behind the Oxford English Dictionary, the slang term refers to a type of behavior which is unapologetically self-indulgent, lazy, sloven, or greedy, typically in a way that rejects social norms or expectations, traits that may have become familiar to many during lockdown. Social media can portray idealized versions of self-improvement, from waking at 5 a.m. and drinking a green smoothie to keeping a journal, exercising, and planning your weekly meal prep. That era may be on the way out. In its place is Goblin Mode, the opposite of trying to better yourself. The OUP Word of the Year, also known as the Oxford Word of the Year, was chosen by the public for the first time. A group of lexicographers at OUP gave people a choice: Goblin Mode, Metaverse, and hashtag I stand with. Goblin Mode triumphed, racking up 318,956 votes. 93% of the total. Metaverse came second, and hashtag I stand with came third. Casper Grathwohl, president of OUP's Oxford Languages, said in a press release Monday that the level of engagement with the campaign caught us totally by surprise. Given the year we've just experienced, Goblin Mode resonates with all of us who are feeling a little overwhelmed at this point. It's a relief to acknowledge that we're not always the idealized, curated selves that we're encouraged to present on our Instagram and TikTok feeds, he said. The term was first used in 2009, but went viral on social media earlier this year, OUP said. It shot to prominence after a fake headline claimed that the rapper formerly known as Kanye West and Julia Fox broke up after she went Goblin Mode. The term then rose in popularity over the months following as COVID lockdown restrictions eased in many countries and people ventured out of their homes more regularly, according to the OUP. Our culture's obsession with perfectionism and self-improvement can be exhausting for most people. Seemingly, it captured the prevailing mood of individuals who rejected the idea of returning to normal life or rebelled against the increasingly unattainable aesthetic standard and unsustainable lifestyles exhibited on social media. The term's popularity may also be linked to the growth of new social media sites like Be Real, where users are invited once a day at random to post a photo of whatever they're doing. Goodbye, carefully curated social media feeds. Hello, Goblin Mode. The release gives examples of when the term has been used. Amongst the most vivid was quoted in The Guardian. Goblin Mode is like when you wake up at 2 a.m. and shuffle into the kitchen wearing nothing but a long t-shirt to make a weird snack like melted cheese on saltines. People are embracing their inner goblin, and voters choosing Goblin Mode as the word of the year tells us the concept is likely here to stay, added Grathwool. All right, so first of all, if I'm going to tell anyone, I'm just gonna point this out to you, boys. If anyone comes out, and if I tell anyone, okay, I'm just going Goblin Mode, it's like, what's Goblin Mode? Goblin on D's nuts.
Got it.
Oh. But yeah. So first of all, the first couple sentences of this article really stood out to me. As you read this, look around. Are you still in bed? Are there piles of clothes and takeout food boxes strewn across the floor? Do you have chip crumbs on your sheets? Have you broken your self-care routine more times than you can count? Do you not even care? If so, you might already be in Goblin Mode. Goblin these nuts.
Got it.
So I read this. I'm just reading this as someone with some mental health problems. I can generally get pretty messy. Like, my desk is also pretty messy right now. I've been trying to. I need to establish when I do guitar work, I need to not do it at my desk I work at. That's just me, and you know.
This is the type of guy you get.
So yeah, but like, I've lived in situations where I've been just lying in bed all day, take out food boxes everywhere, chip crumbs in the sheets. You've broken your self-care routine, not showered in a minute, not cared. Is Goblin Mode? Okay, folks, is Goblin Mode just depression? Because I've been in Goblin Mode a lot. Not Goblin these nuts.
Got it.
But I've just been depressed, and that's like what it looks like. Second off, cheese on saltines, I've done that. It's a pretty good thing. But it's better to do like Ritz crackers. Wheat thins are pretty good too. I like wheat thins and stuff like that. But yeah, so first of all, Goblin these nuts.
Got it.
I won't put the laugh track. Yeah, no, it just sounds like people going Goblin Mode. Just shit. Just like this just sounds like depression, and a lot of people went like that during COVID because they were depressed. Just letting y'all know that some people were depressed over COVID, and then some people took it seriously and lived pretty bad for a longer time than most people. And what do they have to show for it? I don't know. But just Kanye broke up with. They broke up after she went Goblin Mode.
What?
That's a good question. A question that us over at Cancel Schweezy are not going to be able to answer. For you, we're going to be figuring that shit out on our own. So, as much as I say it.
Come on, Mark. Don't be stingy.
All right, last article we have here. Time to go into our segment of
Cool stuff. Slick stuff.
as we talk about what the fuck is Garth Brooks doing. So this is from American Songwriter. Garth Brooks reflects on Anthology series. Garth Brooks is sharing his voice through the Anthology series. So far, the country superstar has released 3 anthologies in the collection that chronicles the early years of his career, but he's already looking ahead to the next installment, revealing that Anthology 4 will focus on several years he was retired to raise his $3 in his native Oklahoma. The 5th edition will highlight his 3-year world tour after coming out of retirement in 2014. He'll bring the series up to date with the 6th anthology, which covers his record-breaking stadium tour that concludes with a sold-out 5-night stay at Croke Park in Dublin, Ireland in September. Ooh, sorry, hit the mic, folks. Sorry if you're listening. I've been in a lot of documentaries, big documentaries that span decades, where the stories that were being told weren't how I remembered them. Brooks said in a press release, so it was real important for these things, for the anthologies, to be told by all the voices that were there. That's what I love. So each one of these anthologies, I think there's probably at least 50 to 100 voices telling this story. 50. He's also released the Live Live, so I'm assuming Live Live box set that chronicles his first Las Vegas residency, Garth Win, which ran for 6 years at the Encore Theater from 2009 to 2014. Brooks will return to Las Vegas in 2023 with his new residency, Garth Brooks +1, at the Coliseum at Caesar's Palace with 27 shows from May through December. Due to popular demand, the show has been extended into 2024 with dates to be announced in May 2023. Vegas is the place where anything goes, and the Coliseum at Caesars is the heart of Vegas. Brooks previously said in a statement, the perfect combination to present a show that will not only push the envelope, it's going to shred it. Let's first talk about here anthologies. I commented on Facebook of that, and it got a lot of likes. He's re-releasing the anthologies. Garth re-released the bodies to the victims so the families can have some closure. I think that's what we really want right now, is for you to re-release the bodies. Second, he's I've been there's more documentaries. There's more documentaries on the road I'm on, which is fun to get high and laugh at, because he starts it off. He goes to, I guess it's somewhere on his property. It's like a gazebo and a fire pit, and he's like, those were a lot of questions come to get answered. I'm like, Jesus fucking Christ, Garth. Anyways, though, he's 50 to 100 voices telling the story. Yeah, it sounds like 50 to 100 victims trying to tell their stories, Garth. Where are the bodies, Garth? The families need closure. Please give these families closure. They would do anything. And if you're in Las Vegas area and Garth Brooks is in town, please be careful. And, it's kind of, this is, some people are I'm going to do something dangerous, so make sure if you're going to do this, do it with caution. That's just what I'm going to do. If you're going to go to Las Vegas, do it with caution, because Garth will kill you. And that's just how the cookie crumbles sometimes. Sometimes you just got to pray your knee bones off, you know what I'm saying, brother? Have you ever been out in public and thought, hey, look at that fat guy, only for it to turn out to be a mirror and you are in fact the fat guy? That was the moment that kickstarted me into becoming the greatest health expert the world has ever seen. But I wasn't born being built different. Like Joe Cocker before me, I get by with a little help from my friends. And my friends happen to be today's sponsor, FNX Fitness. FNX Fitness is committed to creating innovative supplements of the highest quality that provide focus for a productive morning, energy to thrive all day, performance supplements to reach new goals, unique sleep and recovery formulas to support any sport, and healthy supplements to support an active lifestyle for years to come. I also really enjoy their clothing line that makes you look good while you work out as well. Another thing I love about FNX Fitness is that with every purchase, they donate a gallon of water to a child in need. Start working out smarter, not harder, by using the link in our description today. You can save 15% on your purchase. Go save 15% on some of the best supplements out there when using the link in our description. And remember, when you use our links, you directly support this show. When you're at the beach, you aren't going there naked, letting everyone see your little shrunken PP from being in the water. No, you're wearing some sort of clothing to cover up your privates. So why would you let companies you buy products from have access to the privates of your credit cards? That's where today's sponsor, Privacy, becomes the clothing for your credit card information. Privacy is the first payment product that keeps your personal information private while being even more convenient than using a physical payment card online. Privacy empowers you to protect your physical card information. Each merchant you share your card information with puts you more at risk to hackers or data breaches. Why not use a privacy card instead? By creating a virtual card with privacy for each merchant you shop with, your physical card is safe and secure. Privacy cards can be paused or closed at any time, preventing any future transactions from being authorized. Privacy cards can also be single-use, meaning they close after just one authorized transaction. One of my favorite ways to use privacy is for a service with a free trial that requires you to put in a credit card to sign up. But wait, there's more. By using the link in our description, you can get $5 to spend anywhere. That's money you get to use. So start paying the smart way with Privacy. And remember, when you use our links, you directly support this show. All right, so it's the time. Another episode of Christmas Schweezy. Our last Christmas Schweezy of the year. It seems like this month has gone by kind of fast. Not fast enough for me to get to gigs where they pay me a lot. But regardless of that, though, it's time for Christmas Schweezy, the part of the show where we go over the classic Christmas movies, the Christmas movies we all know and love. And this year we're deciding if they are a classic. So currently,
I like that.
This year we're going over A Christmas Story. Many people consider A Christmas Story to be a Christmas classic. However, I actually don't care about other people's opinions, so I'm going to say what I am. And guess what? I'm going to tell that later. So stay tuned and finish the rest of this segment for that. Okay, don't be stingy, okay?
Come on, Mark. Don't be stingy.
And so all I know about A Christmas Story is going in, because this year my theme was for these Christmas movies was, the theme was movies I've never seen, or maybe I've seen once and don't really remember seeing, but generally, like, you know, with someone with a conscious mind now. Not like, you know, I may have seen Home Alone in 1998. In 1998, I was 5 years old, and so... would I have remembered Home Alone in 1998? Probably not. I don't remember a lot from when I was 5 years old. I remember I was in preschool at 5, and one time I didn't like eating celery. I still don't like eating celery. It's not because of the fact that celery tastes bad. It's something with the strings that gets caught in your teeth, and it's weird, and I also don't like it, but it's also, like, not inedible to me. Like, I'll eat it if I have to, but I hate the stringiness of it. That's a whole thing. So I remember that from when I was 5. But, anyways, though, we're not talking about that. We're talking about A Christmas Story. A Christmas Story. The only thing I know about A Christmas Story, I've never actually seen this. Like, I feel like with like the last 2 weeks we've had Home Alone, and we also had Jack Frost. I feel like I've probably seen it before, but I guarantee I don't remember it. Like, I guarantee I don't remember those movies at all.
That's rough, buddy.
So, but like, and people have opinions on those movies. Some people like Jack Frost. I cried my eyes out. But did I like it? It was average for me. To be honest, it was average. But did I cry? You know, you're like, I probably cried more at. No, I did cry when my dad died. Like in private on the drive home, cried a lot. It was like an hour and a half drive home. I cried a lot. But no, I didn't cry like a whole feel like a whole evening I just sat there crying and stuff like that, you know. It was like, that was more processing everything. Jack Frost, just like, I fucking cried the rest of the night. It was pretty rough.
That's rough, buddy.
But A Christmas Story, luckily I can tell all of you going into this movie that I did not cry at all. There was nothing involving like seeing your dead father or making amends with your father you're not good with, like the last two movies. So I did not get emotional watching A Christmas Story, which is good, because I don't feel... there is one part I kind of got emotional at, but I was just more like happiness, you know? And we're going to get to that. We're going to get to that point. But anyways, though, people consider A Christmas Story to be an iconic movie. An iconic movie that is worth watching every year at Christmas. I'm here to tell you that I don't care about your thoughts or your prayers or your opinions or whatever you say. I have my own, which I will be getting to coming up on this episode, so don't be stingy. I've been saying that, but maybe I should just get into the actual show. But I do know, the things I do know going in, I know that there's the iconic like slide scene where Santa kicks him down the slide, so I know that. I knew the kid who plays Ralphie, he played like an elf in Elf. The actual greatest Christmas movie of all time. It was so funny. And also, here's something I fucking learned. Is that so I always thought the reason why Will Ferrell turned down Elf 2 was for artistic integrity. But it turns out him and director Jon Favreau, for those of you who don't know who Jon Favreau is, he played Happy Hogan in the Spider-Man movies and in the Marvel Universe. He directed the first two Iron Man movies. So, like, he directed Chef, he's directed a bunch, he's basically created, or him and Dave Filoni, maybe, they basically created The Mandalorian. Like, great guy. But apparently Will Ferrell does not like working with him. This is the guy we're talking about. Apparently they did not get along, and Will Ferrell turned it down because he didn't want to work with that guy again instead of actually like artistic integrity, like I assumed. Because at that point, Will Ferrell, when I heard about it, Will Ferrell didn't do sequels, and then he did Anchorman 2, which everyone's forgot about, but I thought it was a fun movie. I enjoyed it, but I love the original as well. Anyways, oh yeah, and I remember that. The kid who played Ralphie was an elf. And the iconic scene, I think, in the movie was the kid who sticks his tongue to a flagpole. That scene is iconic for many reasons and has made everyone question, can your tongue stick to a flagpole if it happens? Well, I'm here to tell you, we went through it. But anyways, though, let's go through it. Let's go through this movie together. Because we have to decide as a group. Podcasting isn't just me rambling on to a microphone. It's all of us together. It's like we're having a conversation.
I like that.
But you don't get to talk. Only I get to talk. This is the kind of conversation you're getting.
This is the type of guy you get.
So, anyways, though. But let's see, though. I want to go through this movie. I want to determine, is this movie so good that TBS needs to air it for 24 hours straight? Now, if you're in Gen Z and don't remember cable, there was back in the day, there used to be a thing called TV. And you had channels. You didn't get to decide what you wanted to watch. You just hoped it was on. Sometimes, back in the day, you had a VCR. You could record what was on. Maybe some of you kind of remember that. That's like a DVR or TiVo or, stuff like that. You could record what was on TV. It still exists, but not a lot of people have it. So kids, you won't get it. But that's what you had to do. So, my parents are boomers, so it wasn't until a couple years ago where they actually recorded shows on movies on TVs for us to watch for Christmas instead of unless you just had the DVD, which is like an old Blu-ray, or the VHS, which is an old DVD player kind of thing. You could watch it whenever you wanted to. But regardless, though, my parents used to DVR every Christmas movie and watch it. But anyways, though, I've been rambling on enough. That's the introduction. So let's get into the movie. So the movie is narrated by adult Ralphie, which is the protagonist of the story. But to be honest, though, now thinking back, I totally forgot that it was adult Ralphie narrating the story. I just thought it was a narrator. But he wants to reflect on a specific Christmas from when he was a child. Back in the day, even this is probably before my time too. So we're going back. So the movie came out in the 80s, but it's supposed to take place in the 1950s. So let's just let that sink in. Everyone let that sink in. The movie takes place in the 50s. Do they say racist things to black people? No, I don't think there's a single black person in this movie. So I think we're in the clear there. So I don't think we have to worry about racism in a Christmas story. So Christmas classic, it has 1+ going for it. That should be on the scale of, should this movie be a Christmas classic? Is it racist? Add 1 point. That should be added. Is this movie racist? If it is, then probably don't add it to your Christmas holiday rotation. So they went to a window shopping. That's why it's called window shopping, because people would look in the window and see things for sale, and they'd be like, I want to buy that. That's called window shopping. And Ralphie, our protagonist, sees in the window of this store. Is it a toy store? I really hope not, because they're selling a Red Ryder BB gun. This whole movie, is it a MacGuffin? I don't think, well, it kind of is. Okay, actually, that's a good question. Is the Red Ryder BB gun the MacGuffin of the story? Because it's not really one specific item, because they could have bought any hundreds of Red Ryder BB guns. And I don't know if they were in short supply or anything. Anyways, though, is that a MacGuffin? It's for you to decide. Leave a comment for us. If you're checking out the highlights, leave us a comment. But Ralphie, he gets a big ass fucking boner for this fucking BB gun. Now let's think about this from the perspective of someone watching this movie for the first time in 2022. This kid, a child, would love a gun for Christmas, and I know what you're thinking. If they're maybe 11, 12, maybe a BB gun, they'll hurt themselves. They'll probably hurt themselves with this, but I've heard of people getting shot by BB guns, and it did not feel nice. However, they survived and did not have any problems. But But it's, it is kind of weird. It's kind of weird to want a gun. I mean, there's like enjoying guns, but like I feel like my friends who enjoy guns, they like just shooting guns and enjoy hunting like deer and shit like that. Like that's fun, but there's more like a camaraderie with that. There is something weird about people. I just love fucking killing things. You're like, Jesus fucking Christ. There's like that guy, and you're like, I just love fucking killing animals, dissecting them, opening them up, just looking what's inside. All right, Jeffrey Dahmer, you need to calm the fuck down because you're a little too intimidating. Because, like, every friend I have who goes hunting, they're just like, I like the camaraderie, I like the hunt, I like looking for them, and fuck deer. Like, I would snap a deer's head with my bare hands. Like, you know how many times I've driven and they just, like, stand there in the middle of the road, and then you step on a fucking leaf and they just run away. I'm like, I don't understand that logic of that fucking animal. And also, people are like, I love deer. I'm like, there's too many. There's too many deer, okay? Anyways, though, so Ralphie's like, I want my mom to get me a gun. So his first thought was subliminal messaging. That was his first plan, subliminal messaging. So what does Ralphie decide to do? He has an advertisement for the Red Ryder BB gun. It is a specific brand. I do not think I wrote that down it was from like an old Western. But this movie also takes place before, like, everyone just had a TV in their house, too. I don't know. It was 1950s, but, like, I know, but it was when radio was very popular, like, when you actually wanted to listen to the radio. Sirius XM, though, I will say that shit's pretty great. Like, go through the stations, that shit is pretty fun. If you're just, like, driving radio shit, but I would never, like, listen to it. Never mind. Yeah, okay. Way off topic. So he puts it in the magazine, like not like the gun kind of magazines, the people reading thing magazine, But it's funny because he goes into his parents' rooms, and guess what the fuck is in that room? Some of you are like, a dildo? No, it's not a dildo. It's a Christmas story. It's a fucking movie. It's a kid's movie. Well, is it a kid? I don't know if it's PG-13, but it's at least PG. In their parents' room, they have 2 twin beds. Bert and Ernie beds. Now, folks, they could have bought a mattress from Novella. Look in the description. We already did the advertisement. And if you skipped the Novella advertisement, you're on the naughty list. Your penis just shrunk 3 inches. I'm just saying. And if you didn't have a penis, your vagina stretched 3 inches. I think that's the fair comparison. Isn't it? That's not a funny comparison. Your penis shrunk 3 inches, but a woman's like, I don't have a penis. Like, your vagina grew 3 inches. Like, ah! You're like, well, technically, I'm like, it's bigger. It's just bigger. You're just a wide-ass vagina, okay? That's what it is, and I don't even care about the parts. It's big. It's like throwing a hot dog down a hallway now, because you did not listen to the Novella ad read, which Ralphie's parents could have had, but no, they slept in 2 separate beds. Which is cool, which means they have a sexless marriage. We have not been introduced to the parents in A Christmas Story yet, but we find out that they sleep in separate beds, but the same room. So neither of them has a snoring problem, but they sleep in the same room, different beds. Now, was that weird? Yes, it is. I mean, you're like, what was the 1950s? I'm like, I don't know what happened then, but I guarantee people were probably having sex back then, and I'm pretty sure it wasn't like, well, go back to your twin bed, I'm done having sex with you. It's just weird, and everyone's like, well, Lucy had it, Bert and Ernie had it. I'm like, first of all, Bert and Ernie, I feel like being gay is different. I feel like being gay, you could have twin beds, and it works out. Because it's like, I don't want to sleep next to a man, A man doesn't want to sleep next to most men don't want to sleep next to another man. I don't care how hot he is. We have been rambling on so much in this goddamn fucking segment. I'm telling you. Anyway, sexless marriage. And then we find out they're from Ohio. No, not fucking.
Congratulations, you played.
They're from Indiana. Which, I'm just reading my notes. I just read my notes wrong. They're from Indiana. However, Indiana's pretty close to Ohio. Red flag? Is that a red flag? No one's messaging me. Anyway, so Ralphie's mom asked him what he wants for Christmas, and so like that's the normal thing. Be like, what do you want for Christmas, Ralphie? And he says, and he's eventually, I guess he eventually says he wants the BB gun. But his mom's like, nah, it's too dangerous. You'll shoot your eye out. That's a running theme of this movie, which actually it is kind of funny. It is kind of funny. So shoot his eye out with a BB gun. Anyways, let's move on. So Ralphie's on his way to school, and this is where we get to the iconic scene. He has a friend named Stick. Legit. I believe I'm right here. Flick. No, his name is Flick, but I wrote his name is... No, his name is Flick. Okay. They're a little foreshadowing in the name there, fellas. His name is Flick, and someone's like, I bet you can't stick your fucking tongue to the flagpole. And then like, or what? Oh no, Flick was like, yeah, my dad said that if you stick your tongue to a flagpole, stick to it, which is like normal, like kid talk, Actually, this is like a very normal thing kids do, this is something normal in this movie. So they go to class, and then after class, they test this theory out, and, we're following some fucking kid logic here. He was dared to do it, and, Flick said no. Then he's like, I double dog dare you. Flick still says no, because he's like, well, I was told that my tongue could stick to this thing. Now, trying it out, if it doesn't stick, it's whatever, but if it does stick, there's repercussions. Then he was triple dog dared. Somehow logic gets thrown out the window when you're triple dog dared for dumbass fucking shit. It was the 1950s, maybe a triple dog dare was like a magic spell. Maybe that's why everyone talks about like, oh, I can't take my kids out trick-or-treating for Halloween because like, we don't follow that witchcraft shit. Guess what? Witchcraft doesn't exist. None of that. It's fake. Witchcraft is fake. Spells are fake. Everyone's like, I'm a Wiccan. Like, that shit is fake. I believe the Bible before I believe like Wiccans. I'm just saying. I'm sorry for all the Wiccans out there being like, I'm gonna cast a spell on you. Do it. Cast a spell on me, and guess what? It's not gonna fucking work. Here's what thumb do I not need? Okay, I don't need my left thumb because I guess I can still play. I could probably still play guitar without my left thumb. Okay, I'll tell you this. Cast a spell, then my left thumb goes away. I don't do shit. So it's going to have to come up naturally. And if it doesn't come off, I'm telling you right now, for you Wiccans out there listening, it doesn't come off. Change your entire life. Change your beliefs, because your beliefs are fucking nonsense. Which you are listening to the Nonsense podcast. You are probably at the right place, to be honest. Anyways, though, so he was out of the triple dog dare, nonsense dare. He sticks his tongue to the flagpole, and it is stuck. His tongue is now stuck to the flagpole. So I do my research. At this point in the film, I put on my detective glasses and I do my research. And what does doing my research mean? It means
what?
I Googled it. And turns out what you need to do. First of all, before you do anything, if you're actually stuck to the flagpole, your tongue on there, it can happen. Also, this is actual true thing. It can happen. So don't actually try this. But somehow you get you're in a glory hole. There's no heat. It gets stuck to something. I don't know what you're doing. What you need to do, first of all, breathe hot air. And you're like, I don't know how to breathe hot air. You know how to breathe hot air. I'm telling you. Think in your mind, breathe hot air, and then put your hand in front of your mouth. It's hot air. That's the first thing you should do. Breathe hot air. That'll help melt whatever's going on there. The second thing I would do, get hot water. You probably don't need boiling. Just, you stick it in there. It's like, ooh, that's hot. And then pour it on it. It might melt away. That might help. And then if that doesn't help, and that should probably get the job done. To be honest with you, that will get the job done. Worst case scenario, it's hot on your tongue. What they did to this kid, though, they called the fire department. They cut it off. They kind of cut it off. I don't think it's like that bad of damage. I think it'll heal or anything. Dude had a lisp for the rest of the movie. So they went the hard way. Anyways, they go back to class. And so I'm looking at the classroom. So like the left side of the chalkboard, it had like music notes and stuff like that. Middle was like their English prompt. And then the right side was math equations, or arithmetics, as they called it back then, apparently. And those of you know, the math problems were like triple digit addition, subtraction. I'll get to the middle part, the writing, in a second, but I want to talk about the music lines, because I have a music degree. And for most people would not get some of this, but I did. The first line there was just like, it said name this tune. And I used my music degree, and I looked at that first line. I determined, and I'm I'm gonna flex a little bit for a second. I did not pull out like a keyboard to play it or anything. Looked in my mind, I figured that shit out. I can do that. You're like, how do you know how to do that? I'm like, I went to college. That's how I did that. And it's called playing music for your entire life. That's also a good lesson. So I learned the first one didn't even have a title at the top of it, and I just figured out it was Mary Had a Little Lamb because I'm built different. The second line, it did say Yankee Doodle as the title, but then there was a second line, and so noticing kind of like my pattern ideas or anything, like the top line was Mary Had a Little Lamb, the second line was Yankee Doodle. Then I had to determine, is the third line a new thing or is it a continuation of something? Now, so I definitely not confirmed, but just kind of looking at the notes I could see, because I could only see like 2 measures of it, and it looked like an ending of a song. It did look like it was the ending for Yankee Doodle. So every time you watch A Christmas Story and you look and you see music notes on that screen, just know, Mary Had a Little Lamb and Yankee Doodle. You're welcome, America. You're welcome, America. Oh yeah, in the middle was their handwriting assignment. They're supposed to write like it's called a theme paper, or just an essay or whatever. It's called What I Want for Christmas. So, and it was basically Ralphie's like, I'm gonna write about getting this BB gun. And so anyways, we go home. We're getting ready to go home. Flick, they're on their way home. Flick has gauze all over his mouth. He's like, I'm Flick. Because they cut it. Because they cut the fucking thing. It was bleeding everywhere. He's bleeding all over everyone. Cutting. Oh yeah, like usually that shit. I would say though, if I was just a person, I would say cutting his tongue off would be my last option. But that was the first option in the 1950s. But then they run into the bully, who they typically have to just deal with his recklessness and shit like that. His name is Scott Farkas, and I bet you thought his name was Scott Farkas. And I bet some of you have watched this movie before and be like, Scott Farkas. I'm like, no, it's Scott. I watched it with subtitles. I'm that kind of autistic. S-C-U-T. That's who is Scott. And then he has, basically he looked like a creepier version of Sid from Toy Story. If you want to get real here. We also meet his little sidekick Grover Dill, who basically was like his assistant. And both of those people are destined for prison. You all remember when you were kids, you met people and like, this person is a terrible human being. And you're like, they're going to be in prison soon. And then like their excuse like, oh, it's just stuff happening. Cops are just following me around all the time while I do shit. Like, I'm sorry I robbed 5 stores. It wasn't me, I don't know why you think I robbed these 5 stores even though there's video proof. It's those people. And then I think at that point I noticed I'm like, a lot of older movies have just like kids who are destined for prison. Movies these days are just like, our grandparents cause us trauma, our parents cause us trauma. I'm like, yeah, that's, I think both. I think also that kind of comes back to the kid destined for prison and shit like that. Oh yeah, so we get back to Ralphie's house, and Ralphie's dad's just like ecstatic for some reason. I think we all know when your dad's just ecstatic about some nonsense. He's like, I got a Western Union telegram that I won a prize. I'm like, all I know about Western Union nowadays is that if someone wants you to send them money over Western Union, you're probably getting scammed. Or you're from the 1850s. It has to be one of those two. I got a telegram from the Western Union. Okay, boomer. Okay, and so basically it's like, we're waiting for the prize to come, And then they eat dinner, and they made a whole thing about, like, Ralphie's brother is just that kid who doesn't like to eat. And, like, every family member has that one member that just doesn't eat voluntarily. I'm like, whew, that did not age well. Some people have eating disorders. I don't even know what's going on with Ralphie's brother, but we're not going to get into that because this is a fun show. So then we learned that they won the fucking leg lamp. And Ralphie's dad had the biggest fucking boner. Now it's the 1950s, and it was before the VHS. So if you wanted to watch real porn, you had to go to a theater, which, like, we all know there's problems there. Like, people who worked at the porn theaters were like, I wish we could stay in business, but that fucking porn on VHS, I'm like, it's just too easy. Like, people just don't want to jerk off in a theater with a bunch of other guys anymore. And stuff like that. And like, it's a leg lamp, and it's the legs in like, it's like in heels and like fishnet stockings, and it's a lamp, and he hangs in the front yard, and like the neighbors are like, this is fucking cool, because like everyone's just a fucking horn dog. I'm like, I'm so happy I have internet porn where I can just see a woman and not get get a chub. Like just see a woman existing and be like, I'm not horny right now. Just like it's nice. That's the benefits of porn. It's just like, yeah, I can respect women because I can just watch a woman who's not being respected. Anyways, though, so that's a weird fucking trip or anything. Anyways, I need a drink. I'm sorry, folks. Okay. So then I go tree shopping, which is, I assumed it would start becoming the plot to a Hallmark movie. But anyways, they negotiate a tree, but the deal came with the guy just ties it to their car. I'm like, I don't think that's a deal, my friend. I think you just got a guy doing his job who is going to do that regardless of how much you paid for that tree. Okay, so then basically they got a flat tire, but in dad fashion, it's like, let's see how fast I can change this tire. I think the dad was kind of excited. And then the mom was like, Ralphie, go help him. And so Ralphie was holding the bolts, and then he accidentally twitched or something. I don't even know what happened. But anyway, he jumped, and then he tosses all the little bolts that go to your tire, and he says fudge. But he didn't say fudge. Now, I'm going to be honest. I know what word he said. All right, are you ready? If you have kids listening to Cancel Schweezy, cover your ears. He said fuck. Which his dad and his mom had the biggest fucking fit about him saying fuck. To be honest with you, if it was my kid, and he did something that requires a fuck when you do it. Most kids today, my friends who have kids, and they're just he's like, yeah, he tripped, and he said fuck. And I'm like, well, he's not right. And you don't want your kids saying that shit at school or whatever, but at the same time, you're okay, mom and daddy said this word, but you're not allowed to. It's a weird thing, but they make Ralphie eat soap. And then the boomers were like, yeah, we used to eat soap, we said better words. And then they're like, kids eat Tide Pods. I'm like, you used to eat soap. And you used to have your kids eat soap. Anyways, though, Ralphie, and he also, first of all, rats out his friend Schwartz for cheating the word when he clearly he learned it from his dad. So,
congratulations, you played yourself.
And,
first of all, ride or die.
So, bitch move. Yeah, this is an old movie, so we just have a lot of weird plot points. Ralphie's really into this show, a radio drama called Little Orphan Annie. Radio dramas are a lot like podcasts, but they're probably a lot better than podcasts. It's like those podcasts where they tell stories, but they were better back then. Now they probably suck. Podcasts also suck nowadays, except for Cancel Schweezy. Anyways, though, he's waiting to get this decoder pin or whatever. So eventually he gets it in the mail. He had to drink a ton of fucking Ovaltine to get it. And at the beginning of the show, they tell you this code, and with your decoder pin, you can figure out the message. And so he figured it out. And it's drink Ovaltine. And I'm like, I'd be so fucking mad, dude. He deserved to be out. And basically screwed the kid over. Then his mom breaks the leg lamp. And dad is angry out of horniness. And apparently, from the narrator, this did not go. This is a very big story in the family tradition. And he's like, I'm not mad because I'm horny. I'm mad because I won a contest and you were jealous or something like that. That's he's just devastated. His life is ruined. Men in the 1950s apparently did not have a lot going for them. They had to work a job, probably that they did not like. They probably got fired and had to find a new job and stuff like that, while their wives just got to sit at home doing fucking opium all day, that shit like that. Oh, then Ralphie gets his paper back, the one he wrote about his wanting a BB gun for Christmas. He got a C+. And just like his mom said, the teacher said, no, you'll shoot your eye out. Now, when a good writing teacher would not give a kid a C+ because she doesn't like the gift he requested to get, she would give him a C+ based on his writing ability, which is some bullshit. So Ralphie's in a bad mood. And remember Farkas, the kid destined for prison? He started to try Ralphie. Ralphie was done with that shit. So he started beating the living shit out of Farkas. And this was my favorite part of the movie. I think I mentioned this earlier, but this was the best part of the movie. I'm like, kids deserve it. Which, it's weird too. I don't get this. And it's a weird thing in my high school. I remember they did in my high school. It was weird. And I went to high school late 20s, 2000s, 2000s, in early 2010s, you know, and it's like, oh yeah, kids can just fight, and you know what? It just happens, you know. A kid can assault another kid, and like that kid's on the football team. It doesn't matter. But like when you're an adult and you do that, I'm like, serious shit can happen. I don't know why it's like okay for kids to assault each other, but adults it's not. I'm like, I don't know. See, I don't know. If I had a kid, you know, and I heard like, you know, you basically, assuming you get the whole truth of the story, you know, and like a guy is just, you know, like gave my child a black eye and assaulted my child, I would make sure that, and the school's not doing shit about it, I would make sure that family is paying us, you know, money, very big money, you know, and stuff like that, and like, they're getting sued out of the ass about that. You know, I would not let my fucking child get bullied like that. You know, like kids got to learn. Anyways, though, but yeah, his parents didn't care because also like his parents also like Ralphie's little brother like told his mom, and his mom like got him to stop finally, and you know, and shit like that. And so you know, so his mom got him to stop, and then like and then Ralphie told his parents like, Ralphie got into a fight today. Well, okay. Which is like, okay, you know, it's like, okay, so his parents did not give a shit, you got in a fight. But also, like, if I was Ralphie's parents, you know, Ralphie's not a bully. Like, Ralphie's not like a bully to anyone. You know, Ralphie got into a fight, and in the situation he was in, Ralphie got into a fight and won. You're like, that's pretty fucking awesome, dude. Congrats. And stuff like that. Anyways, though, and I guess, what happened next? So... And I get what am I? Funny shit was. Oh yeah, here's what I wrote in my notes. The funniest shit was that Ralphie's parents didn't give a shit about his fight. I mean, honestly, it was somewhat self-defense. So then Ralphie realized, oh no, never mind. Now we're moving on. So Ralphie realizes if he wants to get that BB gun, he has to ask Santa. So he goes to the mall. The whole family goes to the mall, and his parents are like, all right, you're gonna meet Santa. We're gonna go do anything else. And him and his brother are waiting in line to see Santa. I'm like, you know,
what?
Most parents are just like, I want to get a picture of my kid with Santa. It's so cute, you know. His parents are like, fuck my kids, you know. And then I noticed like Wizard of Oz characters visited Ralphie and his brother in that, and it's like, why are there so many Wizard of Oz references in this fucking movie? I guess the studio owned it, maybe? I don't know, but it was weird. It's a weird amount. So eventually Ralphie's able to meet Santa, and for some reason you have to climb the stairs to meet Santa, and then you get sent down a slide to get away from Santa so they don't come back. Ralphie eventually freezes up, and eventually he gets tossed down the slide, but he was eventually caught himself and climbed back up, and he says he wants a BB gun. And Santa's like, no, kid, you'll shoot your eye out. So this is the third time the movie kid's like, no, kid, you'll shoot your eye out. I'm like, you know, if I was that kid, I'm like, fuck my life. And then it's Christmas Eve, and they're putting the tree together, which is too late. You put your tree up right after Thanksgiving, and you take it down a couple days after New Year's. You know what? You bought a tree. That's how you get your money's worth out of the tree. You don't fucking use it for a day. You bought a real tree too, which is some bullshit. Which is some fucking bullshit. And it snowed overnight, so Christmas was special. They opened everything up. You know, Ralphie's brother got a Zeppelin on wheels for Christmas. Okay, I don't get that shit at all. And then like their Aunt Clara made fucking Ralphie a bunny costume. Like, wear it, Ralphie. His mom was like, wear the fucking costume. So he puts it on, kind of upstairs. I'm like, I want to fucking kill myself. Then Ralphie's dad, a normal human being, is like, you know what, Ralphie? Ralphie's dad is like the normal. I feel like I'm very much Ralphie's dad. Mine is the fact that I can scare dogs. I don't want to scare dogs. And then he's like, Ralphie, you don't have to wear that unless your aunt's over. Like, let him take, and he was like, let him take the goddamn fucking costume off, the bunny costume off. And it's like, okay. Because consent did not exist in the 1950s, apparently. He had to put it on. And shit like that, you know. But luckily, you know, everything, Christmas, you think Christmas is over, but Ralphie's dad's like, huh, you didn't get everything you wanted? Check behind that little desk over there. And Ralphie looks around the desk and he opens it up. It's a fucking BB gun. The BB gun he wanted. And it's like, this is perfect. Perfect Christmas memory. This is where the movie should have ended. The movie should have ended a little bit after this. But no. The movie keeps fucking going on. It's perfect. Ralphie got the BB gun. You hear this nice little story. It's perfect. Perfect down to the last detail. It's all perfect. So then, And Ralphie's just shooting shit in the backyard, because that's what you do when you fucking get a toy. You want to play with it. And you fucking start. And he shoots it and he breaks his glasses, but like, luckily he's able to fake a scenario and be like, a nice thing fell on my face and the glasses are broken. And the parents are like, you're just going to have to wear it till, you're just going to have to wear it, and maybe until we can get a new one. It's like, assuming that's the situation. But apparently the door was open. The dogs came in, ate the Christmas turkey, and the dad likes turkey, which it's weird because I don't know a lot of guys who like, who's like, I fucking want to I'm going to eat some fucking turkey, But this dad loved it. Probably because it was the 1950s and they used real food back then. So they had to go to a Chinese restaurant. They ate a duck, which is close to a turkey. But the family was fine, and Christmas was good after all. So it's just like this weird side plot at the end of it. Then Ralphie sleeps with his gun, like every fucking psycho in America, and that's why we have school shootings. And that's the end of the movie. So what did we learn? If you give a child a gun, they will shoot themselves. That's why you give them a BB gun. And stuff like that. Do not stick your tongue to a flagpole. It will be in the cold. It will freeze. And we also have to decide, should this movie be considered a Christmas classic? Now, I do think, hey, if you are a family who enjoys watching Christmas movies, I do think this was a good one to keep in your rotation. However, is this the greatest movie of all time? No. But is it overrated? There's a maybe 50% overrated, but 50%, like, I've never seen this movie before. So I've been able to not have to watch this. So, but like, I can imagine some people have to watch it all the time on Christmas, and I could see how that's annoying, but should it be in the Christmas classics? I actually do think, like, in, like, the best Christmas movies of all time, I think this one is a good contender. I don't think it's my favorite. Elf is the greatest Christmas movie of all time. But should this be on the list? Like, yeah, it can be on your list of Christmas movies. I think it's fine. Some of you hate it. That's okay. And you know what? Guess what? I'm not forcing you to watch. You don't have to watch this movie. I don't give a shit about you, about your feelings. I just want you to. The only thing I care about is your ears, listening or watching, or both, me on this show. That's all that matters to me in the end. As our friend Chester once said, it doesn't even matter, Have you ever cracked open a cold one with the boys? The vibes are on, then all of a sudden, you are out of cold ones? Though the vibes are still on, the vibes will soon go off because you are out of cold ones. There's no need to drive when you're under the vibes. That's why today's sponsor, Drizly, is here to make sure that the vibes continue. Drizly gets all your favorite beer, seltzer, wine, whiskey, and much more delivered directly to your home. With their easy-to-use mobile app, we are getting one step closer to never leaving our homes. You know it's saying something when it's being praised as the Amazon for liquor. Drizly is my go-to app for getting all the booze I need so I can do other things. So using our link in the description today, you can save $5 off your first purchase through Drizly. Drizly has proprietary ID verification technology that it provides to its retail partners that allows drivers to scan IDs for more than a barcode to make sure the purchaser is over 21 years old in the US and of legal drinking age in Canada. Retailers on Drizly may have a minimum order or delivery fee. So using our link in the description, get $5 off your first order with Drizly. And remember, when you use our links, you directly support this show. You're not a boomer who still goes to what our ancient civilizations called a store. You buy everything on the internet like a modern individual. What if I could tell you that you could be saving more on your purchases by only making a few clicks on your computer? That's where today's sponsor, Honey, will change your life. Honey is a free browser extension you can download using the link in our description of this episode. Honey searches the entire internet for promo code, coupon codes, free shipping, and anything else that will save you money when buying things online. It's 100% free, and at no point will you have to pay for it with all of those many microtransactions. It's as simple as pressing a single button, and you can start saving money. Not using Honey is basically throwing money away that could be saved for more important things. I recently had to get business cards for myself, and Honey literally saved me 60% on a pack of 500 business cards. It was amazing. Add the Honey extension to your browser today for free by using the link in our description of this episode. And when you use our links, you directly support this show. Welcome to the show, folks. We're going to do advice right now. The advice of what I will say here is Ask Schweezy, the part of the show where I get questions and I answer them. That's all it is. That's all we're fucking doing here, folks. We're just fucking answering questions here. Then I'm gonna be funny or maybe get a little nonsense in there. If you're like, I listen to this because it's a serious show, and the problem, I think the real problem is, folks, I think the real problem is that every comment, 90% of the 5%, 10% of the comments are just like mean, which happens when you do shit like this. But 90%, that's the funny. It's 90% intellectual comments, very smart, and it makes me very confused. I don't know. I just don't. It's a good thing I don't have to reply to anything. Anyways, though, let's get into questions that you probably have that I'm going to answer right now. So, how I can keep my butt from being violated during my marriage ceremony.
What?
That's rough, buddy.
Congratulations, you played yourself.
I'll keep it short. I don't know how you... Okay. It's very common in my country for guys to grab the groom's butt during his marriage ceremony, and I'm already getting butt threats. People suggest different stuff, but never anything feasible. I'm currently looking at skateboard padded shorts. Maybe have my tailor take measurements in those in account. Any well-intended advice appreciated. I don't do these things, and I don't like them done to me. Sucks to have my pride hurt on my big day. So I wish I'd highlight that said we live in a society, but so all right. I'm gonna talk, and we're gonna process this at the same time, because I read this and now I'm gonna process it. And we're all going to process it together as we listen to this. How can I keep my butt from being violated during my marriage ceremony? And am I coming for guys to grab the groom's butt during his marriage ceremony? Okay, so I guess violated is a term, but to be honest, fellas, and I feel like this goes to every gender. I feel like every gender can get involved with this. Most genders, when they say my butt being violated, it's the butthole, not the butt cheeks. You know, someone slapping my ass gives me a butt grab, like a cheek grab. I wish I had a nice ass, but I'm also a man. I do have somewhat of a Hank Hill ass. I will say that. I wish I didn't. You know, if I could be created, if God created me in a way where if I was built any different, I'm already built different, but if I was built any different, I would become God. God was not going to allow that. If you create someone, you're not going to allow them to overthrow you. Just saying. He probably made that, he's probably made that mistake a couple times, and we just don't know about it. In your country, and I'm going to be honest with you, I knew a little bit about this question before coming in, so I did do some research, aka I Googled it. Could not figure out the country. I'm going to tell you, I could not figure out the fucking country. fucking. Yeah, everyone's just going to grab the groom's ass the wedding day. So, is this made up? I don't know, but someone's going to be like, I know what country it is. In my mind, they're brown. That's the skin color. In my opinion, the skin color is brown. If it's white, I'm going to be really surprised. It could be the USA. Imagine it's just like, yeah, this is Arkansas. You know, just like, what the fuck? Anyways, though, how can you prevent it? The best advice I could give, so in the United States, there's a general marriage tradition where you kind of figure out, like, the groom's, like, vehicle they're going to drive off in, the groom's vehicle, yada, 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 you know what I'm saying? And you'd write, just married, and you put, like, maybe tin cans or whatever on it. Fun story, my dead father, apparently he saw people like use like the car chalk or whatever on his car. He immediately went to a car wash to wash it off. That's the kind of guy, to be honest.
What type of guy you get?
What a great guy, and his weirdness really rubbed off on me. Anyways, though, I was, one of my best friends got married, and at the time, which I'm surprised he sold this shit, because he got kids, and he's like, I'm selling it. He sold it. He had a Jeep, a fucking great Jeep. It had ants at one point, but, like, also, it's pretty easy for Jeep to get ants. I'm going to tell you. I'm going to tell you right there. I'm like, how do you fucking have ants in this Jeep and, like, you love it? Anyways, though, he had a Jeep at the time. He was getting married. And he told everyone that if you touch my Jeep, I will fucking beat the shit out of you. Now, he's in the Air Force. He's a little guy. He's a little bit small. He's smaller than me, weight-wise. My only advantage would be sitting on him. That would be my only way to fight him. But anyways, he was like, no one touches my Jeep, or I will beat the shit out of you. I don't know if he used those words, but yeah, he would have. Yeah, he's the kind of guy. Like, yeah, he's. You look at him and you're like, that guy can't fight. And you watch him fight. Well, he's fast and he has the strength. He's like a reverse Kingpin from Spider-Man Daredevil comics. If you know with Daredevil, Kingpin, he looks like just a super fucking fat ass. But however, he is 0% fat. It's all muscle. And he will literally beat the shit out of you. This guy was reverse that. He was super skinny and super small, but he will beat the shit out of you. Anyways, though, so I was scared. So, threatened violence. That's gonna be my answer because I don't know how to prevent other men from grabbing your butt cheeks. But like violating your butthole, bring a gun. I don't know. That's gonna be my best advice. Maybe just bring a gun. I don't fucking know. Why is NoFap good? So NoFap, I'm just making a guess here. This is all I have. NoFap. So I'm a little undereducated on this, but I'm gonna talk anyways. You're listening to a fucking podcast. You're like, this dude's gonna talk on something he knows nothing about. I'm like, bitch, we're over an hour into this show. Like, I don't think you have time to be asking yourself moral questions. NoFap. So, from what I know about the NoFap community, I know there's a Reddit subreddit. There's a subreddit, or there's a community on Reddit. There's probably communities in other type of forums, but I know Reddit's the most popular one that you can still maybe find a woman and maybe still get laid. It's 50. There's like a 50% chance if you're on Reddit you get laid. But the NoFap community is this idea of no masturbation, and this idea of like if you don't masturbate, your body will work better and more efficiently, and there's other health benefits, and there's a health benefit to not fucking jerking off. And I'm just gonna continue to answer this question as if for men, because I don't know how to answer that for women, but I do believe we all should come, women and men. We all need to come. That's all. Your mom starts coming and she won't stop coming, as Smash Mouth said. But I feel like this is This is a question that men need to know the answer to. So NoFap. Is NoFap good? Is the idea of not jerking off like a good idea? So here's the thing, because I feel like a lot of things have gotten tied. I believe jerking off and be able to get yourself to nut, and I generally believe men need to nut in order to just function correctly. Like, I've heard a lot of analogies, and I've talked about it before on this show, where like semen and in men is somewhat like a poison, and we have to get it out of our bodies, and so we have to figure out a way. Sometimes you meet women who are cool and help you with that. Sometimes you just have to do it manually. So, in my mind, jerking off in itself is okay, and I think it's healthy for men to do that. And there's generally, like, I know some people will talk about, like, if you want to check for testicular cancer, you definitely have to, like, manually jerk yourself off, like, at least once a month, even if you have a good partner who, like, you generally are, like, you're fucking a lot, and I've started doing this thing where it's like you meet certain people, you're like, yeah, so I saw this guy, and I'm like, that dude fucks. It's just like a guy who has a lot of kids or whatever. Generally though, even if you're in a good relationship where you're fucking a lot, at least once a month you gotta like jerk yourself off, and it's like a good way to, and you're like, that hurts, and you're like, okay, I need to get something checked out, So yeah, no, masturbation in itself. We're just talking about masturbation. I 100% believe that, we definitely, men need to nut, and I think masturbation is a good thing. However, though, we get to the topic of pornography, because a lot of men need pornography to nut. So, like, nutting is good. And so I definitely believe, what we're talking about. Like, I think being able, men ejaculation, if we're going to be scientists here, that's a good thing. However, porn, I do think there could be a lot of problems with it. Like, a lot of guys need porn to, come and, stuff like that. And they get into relationships and they're like, I can't figure it out. Shit like that. And then, they realize, like, oh, we put porn on TV, So like that, it can be a really problem. And some guys are like, I can't even get it up to my wife. It has to be porn, And it can be a real problem, like, at times and stuff like that. So I do understand that. Like, porn, it's weird porn because, I'm a kid of the 2000s. I'm a 90s kid. Grew up in the 2000s too. I think the 2000s is when my PP started getting hard, and like, internet existed, but like porn wasn't like, it was hard to figure that out. And like most of us did not have good internet. We could be watching videos and maybe get a picture or whatever. Like, that's how much we get on the internet. But some of us didn't know how to erase our history, and our Christian parents were upset, and it's a whole fucking ordeal. But nowadays, like, we all have our own phones. We just fucking look at it on our phones, and like everything is on our phones, and it's so weird. And like in my mind, I generally believe like our access to like porn is just like whatever we want is good. And I'm like, I'm an adult, and I've generally learned like, hey, porn isn't real. Like, it's good to jerk off to, but it's not real. It's not real, and women don't actually think that way. So you have to. It's like, And so I've generally tried to like work myself. I'm like, yeah, it's not healthy, but like, I can look at porn and have fun with it. But like a lot of people don't, and it's bad. So the NoFap community, it's bad for like telling people like, hey, don't ejaculate. You need to ejaculate. Men need to ejaculate. However, their idea of what they think about porn, like, they have a lot of good points. And so that's what I'll say there. They have a lot of good points on porn. And if you don't really understand porn correctly and aren't getting some and stuff like that, and you rely on porn for all your needs and shit like that, like, it's pretty bad. Like, I don't know what else I have to say on that. Or I could just keep rambling if I wanted to, but I don't. I want to move on to our next question. Here's feeling good all the time, folks. All right. Why do so many people worship the boot that is law enforcement? We've seen time and again, it's just more than just a few bad apples. Why do you support law enforcement? Okay. So I generally have to think, like, I've lived in places that would generally do that. So I want to go in before we go into any race type of situation when we talk about this. Why people do generally think law enforcement, because, so I would say, I want to talk about my situation because I've lived in middle of nowhere Midwest a majority of my life. I was in college when Ferguson, Missouri happened, and that whole stuff happened and stuff like that. And so, and generally before that, it's like, the cops, they're just doing their job and stuff like that. That's, anytime you heard that before, it's that I didn't, there were basically the towns I lived in, like, there were black people, but they were not like the type of black people police are looking for, and then, I lived in neighborhoods where black people lived, and, you figure it out, stuff like that. And so after that, don't stop, don't shoot, or whatever. And what was the fucking phrase with Ferguson, Missouri? And it was like, and you just start doing more research, and then more. And, after Ferguson, like, you just had more people filming, more stuff, shit just happened. You just watch cops just fucking shoot people. And then you fucking get to recently, you're just fucking, like, watching cops fucking choking out guys to death, which is, like, shooting someone's, like, can sometimes be instant, sometimes not. But, like, this dude was, like, legit choking a guy, like, watching him die, watching the breath and the life go out of this man's eyes. Like, I would say uncomfortable, but it's worse than uncomfortable. That's what I would say, and stuff like that. And so, why people, first of all, let's just talk about, like, I don't know, I want to say, I think cops are people who got C's and D's in high school and are now dead. And you're like, when you say like, and I like to say all cops are bad cops, and you're like, you can't just fucking say that. I'm like, well, look at police unions. Police has a union, and every cop will support a bad cop and stuff like that. And you hear, I've heard a million stories about this, about how someone was like, hey, I want to report this cop. They were doing something bad. I want to report that, and I want to do this shit. And then somehow the guy who reported that got fired, but not like the cop who's doing the shit, and the cop could continue doing shit. And you hear about like the cops who let a little boy, like a 14-year-old boy, go back to Jeffrey Dahmer because he lived in a black neighborhood and Jeffrey was white and shit like that. The cops were like, once they figured out Jeffrey Dahmer was a fucking monster, they were like, look, I don't see how you guys can fucking still have a job. And the police union got involved, and it's like, oh, they're still back. The police union is the one union I don't support. Every other union I will support, but not the police union. Anyways, though, why do and so it's like if a good cop, there would be good. Okay, so no, hold on, I need to figure out what I'm fucking saying before I go into this. There's no good cops, only bad cops, and it's like, because if there was good cops, there wouldn't be bad cops, and you can see just how the internals of how police departments work, and it's just fucking bad. It's just that fucking shit. But why people worship law enforcement? It's because they see them as the goddamn fucking Avengers. Cops, they're seen as just fucking like, oh, cops are just selfless people who are just wanting to protect human beings. They're superheroes, and people think they're superheroes. No, there are people you went to fucking high school with anger management issues who got C's and D's in high school, barely passed. They went to 6 months of training, which they probably let everyone fucking pass. And it's weird how they let fucking cops be able to enforce laws when people who defend laws, like lawyers, they have to go to school for like close to a decade just to be able to defend someone who did probably nothing wrong, and it's just the skin color of someone they don't like. It's just fucking insane. Why people? I mean, the simple answer to your question, why do so many people worship law enforcement, is because they think they're the fucking Avengers, and a lot of times, like, they're scared of black people, and so law enforcement are the ones that get rid of black people. That's 100%. Anyways, though, that was not a fun question. I'm moving on. What would you assume about a shirt reading, if I wanted the government in my uterus, I'd fuck a senator? Okay, first of all,
This is the type of guy.
I don't know how this question ended up on a fucking episode. I'm just gonna let that. If you saw someone wearing, if I wanted the government in my uterus, I'd fuck a senator. And what do I assume about that person? I would assume that they're very pro-life, and they definitely are against whatever the fuck our government's doing right now with repealing Roe v. Wade, which is, I don't know, it's just fucking, there's so, like, you'd be like, I don't like abortion. I think abortion is killing babies. I'm like, okay, then you believe that, that's fine, but you need to make sure the world is a good place, because we were like, I want babies to be born, and then you're like, I don't care if kids die in school, I'll fucking shoot them, I don't give a shit. And then I see a woman wearing a shirt that says, if I wanted the government in my uterus, I'd fuck a senator. So this woman's clearly stating, okay, you see a woman wearing that shirt, and you're like, I wonder what the fuck that means. Are you fucking, I don't even know what to fucking say about you. The idea is that women do not want their fucking bodies being controlled by the fucking government. That's all it is. And like she's saying, if I wanted the government at my uterus, meaning if I wanted the government to control my body, I'd fuck a senator. Meaning that anyone but Lindsey Graham. Lindsey Graham has fucking freckles on his butthole. He is gay until proven that he doesn't have that on his butthole. He doesn't have fucking freckle birthmarks on his butthole. 100%. But yeah, no, it's like she's just a pro-life person, and the idea that you're fucking against that, you're like, fucking this person wants a fucking senator to fuck her. I guarantee she doesn't. Can you imagine Mitch McConnell? And can we talk about fucking bitch Mitch for a second? he voted. So there's like the Marriage Act or whatever, and people were like so mad. Some people were so mad about him. Like, you're mad that you can't oppress people anymore. You're the fucking worst person. Sorry, I gotta fix my green screen for a second. Like, you're mad that you can't suppress people anymore. I'm like, fuck you. Anyways, though, what was I saying? Yeah, and he has an Asian wife, and he's like, interracial marriage, and he's like voting against it. And you're like, brother, you have an Asian wife. You fell for the sake. You fell for the anime girl. You can't be doing this shit. My brother, you cannot be doing this shit. Anyways, though, to answer your question, if I was in the government in my uterus, I'd say I'd fuck a senator. Meaning, it means that women, want to control their own bodies like, men currently do. You know what I'm saying? It's weird. Like, I guess the thing I have to say, it was just like, men, okay, men, we're doing a thing where if a woman wants to have sex with you and you don't want to have sex with them, what you have to do is you have to jizz into a cup, and then they're going to insert your jizz into a woman. She might get pregnant, and then you have to keep the kid. That's the thing. I'm like, no, I don't want that fucking to happen. Fuck you, I don't know. I think even if you're like, I think fetuses are babies. Like, ew. First of all, ew. Second of all, it's like, well, if it's your body, do whatever the fuck you want with it, Let's move on. I'm finishing the rest of this. I'm fucking, this episode's fucking getting to me. All right. Do you think Henry Cavill? Henry Cavill? It's Henry Cavill, right? Henry Cavill was pulled from Superman because he pulled himself from The Witcher? No, I don't think that was the case. I think Henry probably like pulled himself from The Witcher because he thought he was going to be doing a lot of Superman shit. And I don't think people understand, like, movies take a long time to get made. Some people don't really fucking understand the idea. Like, watch just one scene from a movie and then think about, like, how many, like, camera cuts there are. Just look how many, like, different angles there are. Realize, like, don't watch fucking Friends or shit like that. Watch a movie. And you realize each individual angle is a different take. Like, someone had to do that scene like 10, 15 times. And I possibly could be wrong about that number too. It could be a lot more than that. I could be wrong about how many times they did that scene. This is how it is. That's how movies are made. And like, that's how many times they did takes of that scene to get that specific angle. Sometimes it's like, we need an angle of like you behind this person. Like, it just takes so much shit. And you watch these Netflix shows and they do that shit and it's like how many angles they got. Like, it's fucking insane how fast they're able to make seasons and shit. Like, that's a season of a show. And then you watch a movie, that's an hour and a half. But then you watch a TV show, that's 8 hours of content like that. And so theoretically, TV shows should take longer, but sometimes budgets and shit like that. Everything gets in between, yada, yada, yada. You know what I'm saying? Do I think Henry Cavill, I'm going to say Cavill. Do I think Henry Cavill did it because of Witcher? No. I think James Gunn and the other guy, I don't know who the other guy is. I know it was James Gunn. I like James Gunn, but like, I didn't really give a shit about this. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. The Suicide Squad movie, did not give a shit about. I did not give a shit. Like, it was okay. It was a fun to watch, but I didn't give a shit. Peacemaker was a fun show. Like, that was great. Peacemaker was better than Suicide Squad. Was it Guardians of the Galaxy 2? Mid. I'm hoping 3 is great. I'm just expecting it. But basically what it sounds like, what they're doing, I want to stay out of, for the most part, from Black Adam and the Superman shit, because that sounded like maybe old people who were not leading old people running the DC movies versus James Gunn and stuff, shit like that, It sounds like what James Gunn's wanting to do is reboot it. And in an idea of, like, I guess they had a meeting with Henry, and it basically ended with Henry making a post saying, like, I'm not going to be Superman anymore and shit like that. So, but like also, I think Henry Cavill, I'm going to make sure I'm saying it the way I want to. He's he's so good at Superman. So first of all, I genuinely feel, as a boy from Kansas, I want to say that, as a boy from Kansas, I genuinely feel that Henry Cavill probably was the best Superman, the best Superman representation of a boy from Kansas. 100%. The only other one I would really say represent a boy from Kansas, maybe Tom Felling from Smallville. He kind of got it a little bit, but Henry Cavill, like, he did it. And then I learned he was British. I'm like, what? And, I don't care if you're British, just don't do it around me. That's the thing. So Henry Cavill, perfect. So, yeah, I think it's just because they're going to reboot DC. They're going to reboot it, do a whole new thing. And the question of what they're doing with fucking Robert Pattinson's Batman is a big question because, because they made a Batman movie. I like Robert Pattinson's Batman. I love the Batman. My real wish was, what's this fucking name? With the Batman before Ben Affleck, but him, god damn it, what's his fucking name? God damn it. I guess we're gonna have to look it up because I drink alcohol. The Batman movies with Christopher Nolan. Those Christopher Nolan movies. Christian Bale as, this Batman. I wanted Neil Patrick Harris as the Riddler, but with Robert Pattinson's Batman. Yeah, it was like, what would the Riddler actually be like in real life? And you're like, yeah, that was a real life Riddler. But I always feel like the idea of the Riddler was supposed to be like a goofy guy. But the Riddler, they had the movie made sense. Anyways, I like the movie though. But I don't know how those are just like, let's make another Christopher Nolan Batman. I don't know. Anyways, though, Henry Cavill needs to play Doctor Doom in Marvel. And because, one, there's a career there. Two, he is a nerd. He's a buff nerd for some reason. Buff nerd somehow exists. He would be he would be so good at Doom. And he's already British, so people are like, he's gonna do a Romanian accent. I'm like, I don't think anyone's gonna give a shit about that. He'd be so perfect. Doom strives for perfection, and I think the thing with Doom is why he wears the mask because he has a scar going across his face. It's a line just across his face. It's not even that bad. It's Henry Cavill. He's perfect for it. But no, they didn't do it because of the Witcher nonsense. Don't be stingy.
Come on, Mark. Don't be stingy.
Everyone knows about bidets, but why do people still choose not to install them? I know they're common in Asian Middle East. My question isn't for you. It's for these two. Okay. So I have a lot of things I can say about that. As a bidet owner myself, I did have a plan. I did think about this when I put this question in and be like, I'm going to call Josh. And we're 10:46 p.m. And Josh lives an hour ahead of me, and there's no way he's awake right now. So I was going to talk to him like, Josh, why do you not have a bidet? And he's going to be like, well, it's gay. But I didn't use gay. I didn't say the word gay, but it's gay. But also, author of Track and Desire, Journey After Swallowtail Kite's out now, wherever you get your books at. But yeah, I don't know. Here's some things I would say about why people are against bidets. I've gotten into some fights about this with some people. Women, specifically, if you wanted to know. Not a lot of people actually know about bidets. I'm going to tell you, not many people know about it. And not a lot of people know about the benefits, it's weird because people think, oh, you're spraying water in your butt? That's weird. I don't like that, and because people have grown up just with toilet paper. So people who've grown up with just toilet paper, it's weird to them. And people think bidets are expensive. No, I spent a little bit of money. I spent maybe $60 to $80 on mine, but I wanted a good one. And I've kept it through like 4 different homes I've lived in. So just letting you know. And they're easy to hook up to. People think like they're like, my toilet won't work. And you think, and also a lot of people are like, what about is it warm water? I'm like, don't worry about the warm water. You'll get used to it. And then there's toxic masculinity who thinks anything about cleaning your butt is gay, which is not. Josh Casey, cleaning your butt is not gay. Joshua Casey, it's not gay at all. So don't worry about that. And like, it's just nice, like scratching your butt, and you're like, you know what? There's no poop in my underwear. My butt's just itchy from living. Sometimes that happens. People are so used to toilet paper, and so they're weird when they change that. I think that's really the last thing I have to say about that. Like, people think it's weird because it's not the norm, and toilet paper has become the norm in the United States, and so people are just weird about that. So, Josh Casey, get up a day so I can stop sending you that text every morning. Okay? Don't be stingy,
Come on, Mark. Don't be stingy.
It's just fun. Let's fucking end this show, Okay, what were we doing? How do I teach my boyfriend to make out? I've always loved making out but my boyfriend kind of sucks at it. We rarely make out, only when we're drunk, and we don't drink at all anymore. He isn't experienced with making out, but I am. The thing is, everyone I've made out with has been either good at it or okay at it, and I haven't needed to teach anyone. So any tips on how to teach him? I'm going to talk to him soon, so I just want to be prepared. Okay. So I don't mean to, I'm just gonna flex for a minute. Like, y'all call me the foreplay king. People were like, you gave yourself that name. I gotta tell you, no, I fucking did not give myself that name. I promise you. I promise to everyone. I promise. What should I promise on? Not my mother. I'm like, fuck that shit. I promise you on my record collection that I did not give myself the name the foreplay king. But I will tell you, what do I know about making out? A lot. I've had some dry spells, and then I made out with women. They're like, you're really good at this. I'm like, I know, because I'm fucking the greatest of all time. That's not the air horn. That's the air horn. Yeah, you'll fucking know what's going on. So yeah, no. Yeah, how to be good at making out. Like, I'm not gonna teach you how to be good at foreplay, because that's my secrets. For me and myself only for the rest of my life. But, like, if you want to be good at making out, I can help you out with that. So I know there's, like, one thing, like, the big question is, I wish I knew, like, what this guy was doing. I wish he would have told me. He's not very good at it. First of all, you gotta shove your tongue into another person's mouth. That's gonna be the big thing. Like, that's what making me kissing a man okay versus me gagging. Okay, gagging in my mouth. What did it? Ugh. Okay, like, I would put my tongue in a woman's throat, but I would not do that in a man. So I would just, pecks on the lips. I'm like, I'll fucking do that all day. And when you do it, so like, say if I was an actor and they're like, you gotta kiss this man. I'm like, okay, I kiss him on the mouth kisses, no big deal. But then they're like, gotta stick your tongue down his throat. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna need to have a clean stomach for this shit, and stuff like that. There may be a picture of me kissing another man around there. Figure out if it's really yourself. The only ones I know are blurry. So, so how do you teach them? One thing I know that you should be telling guys who are making out with girls, I'm like, you write your name in cursive. Now, the problem is they don't teach cursive in schools anymore. So it's like, and you just start doing that shit. So so I guess figure out how to write in cursive, and then figure out how to do that with your tongue. Then maybe do some cool tricks with your tongue and stuff like that. And then maybe watch some soap operas or whatever women like, and just figure out what they like, Or watch a video on YouTube, maybe. Because my biggest trick is just writing my name in cursive. And I go by many names. The Schweezy, the Foreplay King, Daddy, Sam, if you think I'm like your R-worded cousin or whatever. So yeah, just do that. Do that and you'll be fine. Regardless, though, we're ending this episode of Kansas Schweezy. Thank you so much for checking out everything that Kansas Schweezy has to offer you. The last episode of Christmas Schweezy. So I hope y'all had the best fucking Christmas ever. I have a lot of cool Christmas plans going on. And honestly, though, I think Christmas is the best holiday. And the fact that, like, people decide, like, they want to be good people to each other makes my heart warm. And the fact, just the idea, like, I don't know. That's why I love Christmas. I just, I wish more in my life I could just be really good to people. And I wish I could do that all the time. But Christmas makes people who can be good to people all the time be good to people all the time. And it's just great. And so I love Christmas. So thank you for listening to Christmas Schweezy. My cover Last Christmas on Never Nude Records. Grandma Got Run Over by a Tour Van, out now. If you're not listening to that over Christmas, you're a simp.
That's rough, buddy.
And fuck you and fuck your family. And I hope you have a bad Christmas if you don't listen to Last Christmas by Schweezy. Social media at TheSchweezy. My music under Schweezy as well. And Stonehouse. Check out Stonehouse's newest song, American Honey, out now. Stonehouse, all one word. So don't be stingy,
Come on, Mark. Don't be stingy.
Check us on Twitch, twitch.tv/TheSchweezy. If you have an Amazon Prime account, connect the two, get a Twitch Prime, hit the subscribe, follow us also for free. Patreon, help us out, give us financially support us. Free shit. If you're an audio listener, make sure you are checking our YouTube page because we have a lot on our YouTube page. And you definitely, I feel like the YouTube page is more the hub than the audio page. Leave us a comment, leave us a like, all on that on the YouTube page. So definitely check that out. I do want to hear really good comments and cool shit over on there. And if you're on the audio platforms, leave a review and give us a 5, 4, 3, 2, or 1-star rating. So, honky villa butt drugs, stay awesome.
Gave it away.
You just finished a full episode of Cancel Schweezy. You are now one of the smartest individuals who will ever exist in our world. If you like that episode, make sure you subscribe. Whether you're watching this show or listening to the show, make sure you subscribe. That way you get notified whenever we release full new episodes as well. And if you're on YouTube, smash that bell button. That way you get notified anytime we make a post over here on YouTube. Honk if you love butt drugs, and yeah, stay awesome.